you want to save time and learn how to invest in real estate faster, go to investorthrive.com to master the sales process from our training so you can close more deals with less leads, even if you're only doing this part-time. Or if you don't know where to start and need help, give me a call at 385-398-9862 and let's chat. Let's go. Oh, the flex. Hey, what's going on? We are live with Investor Thrive. We got my man, Graham Solomon. How you doing, brother?
I am pumped to be here with Real Estate Nate.
Man, I appreciate it. Thanks.
Yeah, I'll just do a shout out. Mum, I made it. I'm on Real Estate Nate show. I'm here.
You made it. Hey, we both made it. We both here, and it's good to have you on here. And hey, for the people that don't know Graham Solomon, he is awesome. I've been on his podcast. He's got a sweet podcast. I think you have two, don't you?
I've got one and I host another one.
Tell us about those podcasts real quick for the people that are tuning in right now.
My one is the Thunder from Down Under podcast, which is it's US based. It's an Aussie guy interviewing people like yourself from all over the real estate space. So It's been fantastic to meet some of the people that I used to follow. I used to be in their Facebook groups early days, and I actually get to hang out with them now. So it's been amazing. So I've got some Australian fans, but it's generally in the US. It's designed for US real estate and to just basically get people on and share some content with them. So, and the other one's for Home Invest, Social Media Blueprint. And I host that for my good friend Nate Armstrong, who's a legend. So I'm a former student there, so I host that for him, and that's my job there. So I love it. Get to meet some pretty cool people like yourself, Nate.
Yeah, man. I mean, you were the ultimate networker. I mean, you're in Australia and you're networking with people in the States. Like, that's amazing.
Yeah, well, that was the whole thing. I sort of, from early days, I've got a network because it's me and another bloke over here. I'll do a shout out to my mate Warren C, who's just got his poker chips from Steve Trang. He's got two more to get.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen that with Steve Trang with his poker chips.
No, I didn't see that.
Steve Trang was the first person that he actually found out about wholesaling from over here in Australia. So it's pretty cool. And we got to meet him one day on the Zoom. And so me and him are sort of, going along parallel, hanging out with each other and supporting each other over here. But we're both networked a lot. We have to network because we need people on the ground in the States. And we've had to partner up and we've had to do a lot of stuff. It's a long way. And I just find that, the best thing for me is meeting, I'm coming out to the States next year and it's more to hang out with the people rather than the real estate.
Yeah.
Because there's some pretty amazing people in this game. I mean, you've just got to look around and we've just networked and just jumped in Facebook groups. And I was in a couple of weeks ago, Real Estate Nate's, one of his 4-day trainings, jumped in that. I nearly got kicked out, nearly got a restraining order because I was mucking around too much like I was at school. But
we loved it. We
had a good time. But that's what you got to do. You've got to network, and even people in the States now, it's virtual, state to state. You've got to build up networks, and it's good. It's good working with other people. You meet a lot of other people, and I just think it's the way to go.
Did you were you always good at networking, or is that a skill set that you feel like?
Yeah, I'm a tradie. I'm a tradie by nature. I left school. I just turned 16 and did an apprenticeship, did a trade. And I started my own business pretty early at about 20. So over here in Australia, someone says, "Oh, do you know this guy?" And I say, "Look, I know a bloke that knows a bloke." So I was always connecting people on the job, and that's probably why I was successful in the trade I was in, because I just connected. Someone say, "Do you know a plumber?" "Yeah, I know this guy. I use this guy." "Do you know this?" So I just connect people all the time. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, and I've been involved in football clubs and sporting clubs over here, and it's over in Australia. It's very, the more personal you are, and the more you get to know people. The Australians like that. It's a cultural thing where you go up the footy and you hang out with your mates, and do the right thing, and everyone's happy.
What part of Australia are you in?
I'm born and bred in Melbourne,
okay.
And I live down about an hour and 45 minutes down at Phillip Island, or just before Phillip Island, down the beach. So I get to knock off and go for a walk down the beach.
Is it nice out there? I'm sure it's awesome.
Phillip Island's surf beaches are amazing, and it goes to open ocean. It goes off the point. It goes there's some great whites. There's some it's pretty awesome. But there's some good surf beaches that are family safe. That are big.
Don't they have like the most dangerous animals or the most poisonous animals in Australia? Isn't that like true?
Yeah, I go up to the border of there's the Murray River. That's the border between Victoria and New South Wales. I've been going up there since I was young teenager, water skiing on the river, and they're flooded at the moment. They've got floods. There's big floods up there at the moment, and up there, there's snakes, like there's about 8 different types of snakes, and like you're camping and they're hanging around your camp. They're just like stored.
No.
One particular breed swims across the water towards your camp. It's called a tiger snake, and they're pretty aggressive.
Oh gosh, I hate snakes.
Oh man, some of the snakes up there we've seen are huge, red belly black snakes and all that. So I don't know. You get used to it growing up over
Do you
here.
have to carry a stick with you, or how do you get rid of them if they get crazy?
Yeah, you've pretty much got to have some sort of weapon there that if they come up, you just belt them with it. And but most snakes, even the really venomous ones, you make a lot of noise, and they want to go. But the tiger snake's a bit different. It's got a bit of attitude. It's sort of like the Nathan Payne door knocking, up in your face,
That's
in
right.
your grill. So no, I mean, most of the US people that I know that come over here, they absolutely love it because it's so different to the States.
Right. I mean, I've been to Australia, but I didn't go where you are. I went to Sydney.
Yeah, Sydney's probably the business a little bit more the business capital than Melbourne's the cultural, like restaurants and footy and all that sort of stuff. And then you go up the coast up to Queensland. That's where you start getting into Crocs and some really heavy.
That sounds dangerous in Australia, right there, man. I'm telling you.
Well, obviously in the cities it's not as bad, but once you get out into the outback and the country rural areas, country areas, there is definitely the snakes everywhere. So you just got to be aware.
Didn't you say you hit a kangaroo, or is that someone else?
Yeah, I've hit a few kangaroos. Where I used to live in the Dandenong Ranges, which is about 45 minutes out from Melbourne. It's the start of the range. It's beautiful. Brought the kids up there, and I've hit a couple of kangaroos just coming home late at night on the way home. I actually was driving to work one morning. It was about 5 o'clock in the morning, and I just went down the main because it's like a little rural area.
Mm-hmm.
I come down the main street, past the main shops. Next thing I look, I got my lights on, and this kangaroo's jumping down the road straight at me. So I stopped in the middle of the road, and it kept hopping towards me. And then all of a sudden, it got right near the front of the car and freaked out. Went to hop the other way and slid because it was wet. It had been raining, so I freaked out. Right, so it hit the front of my car just a little bit, and then took off sideways and hopped into someone's front doorway. And it was like an 8. It was door knocking. It was bouncing into the front door. I was like sitting there looking. So I sort of had a laugh. I thought, we do tell people overseas that kangaroos are hopping down our main street, and it actually happened to me. So
wow, that's crazy, man. Because I told you I hit a deer. I clipped a deer on the way down to Arizona the other day, and you said hit a kangaroo. So I mean, I guess the deer are kind of like the kangaroos over there. That's crazy.
Well, how's this? I'm on the balcony down the beach.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on the phone. I'm on my phone to someone in America talking real estate in America, and I'm on the phone. And next thing, this kangaroo jumps down the walking track, and I just said, "You wouldn't just believe what happened." And they're like, "What?" I said, "A kangaroo just hopped past."
Wow!
I said, "I'm serious."
That's wild, man.
So anyway, that's the nature lesson for today.
Yeah, no, I think everybody that would, I think everybody here in America probably would like to go to Australia at one point in their life. So, I mean, you're giving us a little insight into it. So let me ask you about real estate in Australia. Tell me a little bit about it, because when I went to Sydney about 7-8 years ago, it was very, very expensive. They were telling me there was like millions of dollars for just a normal single family. What's it like right now?
Well, in the outer suburbs of Melbourne, for instance, where most people will buy an investment property, most mum and dad investors will buy an investor, you're looking at 700 grand. You're looking at about 700 grand and up. If you start going, that's right out. If you start going halfway to the city, 1-point-something million.
Mm-hmm.
So you think if you bring that money to America and you buy something in Ohio or Milwaukee or, those price points, Cleveland or whatever, you could buy a whole portfolio.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So why buy one in Australia if you can buy a portfolio? Is that kind of the thought?
That's the thought. So, there's people that have invested in America before. I mean, there's been people that fly people over, and that's happened always.
Okay.
But the difference being now is wholesaling. Wholesaling is a whole different ballgame.
Yeah.
We got in contact. We put it out there in all the big groups in the States. Anyone from Australia, anyone from overseas. Mm-hmm. And we only found about 8 people that were doing wholesaling from Australia. And now there's probably only 2 or 3 left. Yeah. So, because you're on it completely, like it's the middle of the night. I work through the middle of the night to be able to do stuff in the States. So it is hard. There's a lot of challenges with your phone systems, with everything, literally got to walk into a bank to open an account in America. Well, that's a bit hard when you're over here. So you got to pull a few strings and do a few things to get a bank account. There's a lot of things, but once you set up,
sorry, I just was curious about that. Can you do it online?
No, look, you've got to put in for like banks like Mercury Bank and that you've got to put in, and you can get rejected sometimes. Sometimes you can sneak through. So it just depends on. I mean, you'd get it through. I'd get Real Estate Nate just to get on there and bang, he'd have it done for me in 5 minutes. But
That's right.
so that's what's changed is wholesaling, and I try and tell as many people over here about what we can't wholesale. It's illegal. We don't even know the concept. Creative finance just doesn't work here anyway because of the price. So it just doesn't work. There's some things that are very similar, like vendor financing, but people's mindset just aren't open to it like the States. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and there's certain different areas. If there's a lot of distress, I think that's when wholesaling and investing comes into place. And is there a lot of distress in Australia?
No. As soon as even an old house that's what we call an old banger that's a bit knocked around, that's snapped up.
Okay.
And if it's that old, it'll be knocked down and they'll build 2 townhouses there. So
okay.
You know what I mean? We've only got 26 million people, which I think Texas has got about 31 million, and California's got about 40 odd million. So that just shows you that everything's a lot slower over here and everything's on market. There is some off market activity. I mean, I can still buy a house off someone off market, but people they freak out. They think it's a scam. Oh man, go through an.
It's just not. They're not used to it. Yeah, I hear
it's
you.
The mindset. Yeah. So what I'm doing now is I'm trying to encourage Australians, like especially millennials. I've got sons that are millennials, right? I'm saying, why would you put yourself in hock for 700 grand here for one property that is negatively geared, that you've got to pay money out of your own pocket, when you can buy 5 duplexes in Toledo or somewhere in Ohio that's a cheaper market?
Yeah, like the Midwest. The Midwest is cheap. I mean, definitely cheap. I mean, I'm kind of similar prices where you are and where I live in California. The West Coast, it gets more expensive, but no, they're Midwest, South. Those are the cheaper priced properties for sure.
Yeah. So I was just talking quickly before the show. I just said, look, my strategy is I'm coming over. I've got properties for sale over here. I'm going to come over and do that myself, and then bring Australian investors and what's the word you guys use? Syndicate. Syndicate and start doing stuff, because I've just started a Facebook group to get Australian investors who already invest in groups here to come over to the States, because they just don't know about it. And even when they find out, they go, oh, why would I go? Well, I'm explaining to you why. This is why. Yeah. You can have income coming back into the country, and then you can offset that against your negatively geared property here, and you don't pay anything out of your pocket. So I wish I'd have known about this 20 years ago. I only found about 2 years ago, and I just went, how long has this been going on? How long has this America real estate been going on? Someone said about 400 years or something. But,
yeah. I talked to a lot of investors from Israel, the Jews out there, Jewish people, and they love investing in the United States.
Yeah.
And that's awesome, and I'm sure there's a lot of other countries that are like Australia where it's very high priced and they can come in here. I met someone at a mastermind event that he takes the money from people in Israel and he takes it to invest in properties in Wisconsin where the properties are less valued. So you're saying Toledo, you're saying different places, and those are all great properties where you can get what's it called, like a portfolios. Like right now we're working on one that's like a six portfolio in like Cleveland, and we're seller finance, and the guy just wants like $70K down. So wow, $70K for 5 properties that can cash flow a little bit. Like that's crazy, right?
So that's another thing I want to do is get into seller finance. Once I've set up, is then go across here and set up seller finance and lease option. I mean, I just can't believe what you can do in the States. It's just amazing, because you get tapped out here after a couple of properties, a couple of rentals. The banks won't, even if you show good figures and your business is making money and then your rentals are going well, they just won't. They'll say, oh, no, we can't lend anymore. Why? It's just so slow and cumbersome, and
yeah, man,
it's just terrible.
It's wild out here, then you're saying, compared to where you're at, the amount of property you can buy.
I'm post 50 now, but I'm going to come out here like a kid in a candy shop. Like I'm like, how about I just pick a couple up on sub 2? I mean, when I heard about sub 2, it took me about 3 weeks to get off the floor. I'm like, what?
To kind of figure it out.
If you told an Australian that, they call the police.
Yeah.
They call the police and they say, this guy needs to go to jail. He's a scam. Like, it's just out of control. So that's why I love watching the creative finance guys, like the Pace Morbies and John Jackson. I did one of John Jackson's boot camps, actually, because I really like lease options. I think they're really good if they're done properly, and follow guys like that from the start. And I just can't believe what you can do. It's just amazing.
Yeah. I have a property right now because the market has shifted and prices have gone down a lot in Utah that I was flipping and it's not selling. So I'm probably gonna have I'm getting it refinanced right now. I got to refinance out of it with my lender and take it down. Then I'm gonna have to rent it or sell it to someone on a lease option or sell it to them on like a wrap, right? Or a seller
Yeah,
finance.
it gives you options, doesn't it? It gives
Yeah,
you
I
options.
mean, there's several options, and you're never defeated if you don't give up. You just got to keep going. And I didn't think I'd be flipping 2-3 properties that aren't selling, but
Yeah,
you just got to go with what you can get, man. I mean,
yeah,
you got to pivot. That's it.
yeah. And it means, I mean, for instance, no, if you're going right, I'm going to be really aggressive. I'm going to get some buy and holds as the market shifts. And you sort of, like you said, for 70K, you can lock up so many properties, right? For this much, you can do this over here. You can sort of, I'll get over sub twos that are already in place. And you don't need to go to the bank. So that can actually help you fast track yourself, that you don't actually need to go to the bank. Over here, every property you can go and get a loan. You've got to have so much equity, like it might be, say, 80-20 or 70-30 you've got to put in. So the big difference too is, I know over in the States, if you get something deeply discounted, you can almost get full finance for it, because the difference between what the discount is and what the market value is,
Right.
they'll lend the value of the property. Over here, it's about your income. It's about a whole heap of different factors. So no, I think I'm done with Australian real estate. I just, it's just too slow and cumbersome. And
Time to come over, brother.
time to come over. Good place to live, but I think the States is where it's at for the real estate. And
yeah, I mean, you have all your family and you've been in Australia. So the cool thing is you can invest from here, from there, like virtually.
Yeah,
So that's
right.
the goal, right? The goal is to stay in Australia, but to invest while you're here.
Oh no, I'm going to come over for a fair while. I'm going to come over for a while because I really want to go and, like I said, connect in all the different states with the people that I've connected with. So that's the plan. And then from there, I'll just see, because like I said, my boys are all grown up. They all got their own lives and that now. So they're off creating their own lives. So I'm not dependent to be here. So I actually like to come and see a fair bit of America anyway. I mean, you got, all those states. It's, what is it, 50 states?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to see out here. I'll tell you, you'd have to be here for a while. I haven't even seen all the states, so
that's what I'm saying. So I might not get back. I may never get back to Australia, but
yeah. You have an idea of where you want to come, like when you do?
Yeah, it was my first market I ever worked in was Fort Worth, because
Fort Worth, Texas. Okay.
Yeah, my cousin-in-law lives in Grapevine between Dallas and Fort Worth. So
Yeah,
there's something to pick a market. I just went, oh, that'll do, because he's there. Ended up being a pretty tough market, but that's that's the very first deal I did in Fort Worth. So I made a lot of contacts in Texas, and every group I'm in seems to have a heap of people from Texas. So I want to go to Texas because it's such a different state.
Texas is great. I used to live right over there where you're saying, Grapevine.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people there I really want to go and see. So I'll go there. California and all that side, I don't do anything over that side. So I'll go there for, like, when I need a break, I'll shoot. I know some people in California. I actually did a Zoom with some people that I'd met before I even got into the real estate. So there'll be a bit of that, but then the rest of it's going to be real estate based, and catching up with people and trying to get to masterminds and trying to do as much real estate as possible. So I told you about my bucket list. You're on my bucket list. I want to door knock with Nate. I want to go up,
do it,
door knocking for dollars.
Maybe we could go to Vegas, go see a fight, and then we can UFC fight, and then maybe we can go knock some doors there.
We'll just knock some doors down. I think we'd be that jacked up. So I think that's the go. But definitely. And then I interviewed a guy who you've probably heard of, Dutch Jackson, who does some rap songs that are wholesale. Have you heard those?
Dude, you interviewed him. I got to interview that guy. He's got some good rap.
Cool. He is awesome. And so I used to listen to his music all the time. REI Till I Die. That was my theme song, because
I love that song.
I was struggling over here by myself. I'm thinking, oh man, I've just got to keep at it.
Yeah.
And I from a real weird way, I actually met him. Facebook met him, and I said, look, I'm starting a podcast. Do you want to come on? And he come on, and he's on my bucket list too. I said, man, I want to drive because he does the song D for D. I said, I want to get in the car with you, and I just want to drive for dollars in Dallas. So a lot of people I've met, we talk about the door knocking because that's part of your story. I say, right, bucket list, and I've got a bucket list of all the people I want to go and do, like driving for dollars, door knocking for dollars. A young guy, I said, look, we'll go on the push bikes. We'll ride for dollars. We'll get on the pushies and we'll ride.
What's a pushy?
A pushy is a bike, where you pedal. Push bike.
I've never even heard of that word before in my life. That's
pushy, and I jump on the pushy, and
pushy.
I might need a defibrillator but that's what I'm saying. There's going to be I think there'll be a few YouTube video comes out of the footage of me maybe going down the embankment or so. There's going to be some stunts done.
Oh yeah,
And
let's do it.
Real Estate Nate and I are going to go to a UFC fight in Vegas. So
Yeah, we love the UFC, man. I love that UFC.
yeah.
I
So,
told you I'm doing jujitsu, right? You already knew that.
yeah.
I got this little, cut right up here.
Yeah.
There's some guy, I guess I was going, yes. So I've been doing it for about 6 months now. And I wrestled in high school and a little in college. So I'm good. I was good at grappling, but I'm getting it. I submitted a couple of my guys yesterday, but it's awesome.
Yeah.
So much fun.
Yeah. Well, that's another thing about the US. You guys do a lot of college wrestling. I mean, that's pretty big.
It's huge. Yeah, I love college wrestling. I mean, it's maybe not as big as other collegiate sports, but it is big within the wrestling world. And then, after that, it kind of dies down. Guys have to go into Olympics or they really don't have much else to do.
Yeah. So over here, we just do crocs. We just wrestle crocs, and that's about it.
Wrestle crocs. There you go.
That's it. So
snakes.
No, but so that's sort of, got a bit off track there, but that's the plan with real estate. I've done it over here, and then I found out about this stuff. And the same thing, I'll just tell you a little story. I fell off a double-story roof. I was working at this job, and the truss gave way, and I just happened to get off the scaffold, and I nearly killed myself. I'm, only for the grace of God that I'm here. Either side, I would have been dead, right? So I had to have a shoulder reco. I thought I broke my hip and everything, but nah, just a shoulder.
Wow.
So what happened was, obviously, I had to, we call it work cover. I had my own business, so I paid my premiums and it's an insurance policy, so I get paid. But because of tax minimisation the year before and splitting my wage with my wife, I only got a small wage. So then all of a sudden the banks are saying, well, and we tried to defer some payments for a while and it got really tight near the end, and we had investment and I sort of started thinking to myself, well, this whole thing could crash down. We're stressing out. And that's when not long after that, I found out about wholesaling. And, people say, a lot of realtors go, no, it's no good. It's that. But it's got a purpose. And if at that particular time we would have been able to move one of our properties really quickly, it would have got us out of so much trouble.
I know.
Of months and months of stress, right? So then when I found out about wholesaling, I thought, I really do believe in the concept. It is, if it's done properly, you can get access to the money from your house if you take a discount. I mean, it's like anything. If you've got an old car, you're not going to expect full price for it. Someone's going to come and have a look at it and say, look, I'll give you 60 cents in the dollar for it, mate. It needs a bit of work. So that's why I got so excited when I found out about wholesaling and all that sort of stuff, is because it does serve a purpose in the marketplace. It's not.
It does, yeah. I mean, the sellers that I'm talking to right now, they need a cash buyer because they're in bind, right? And no one's going to buy it, traditionally. So, it definitely does serve a purpose.
Yeah. And it's the same as lease options. I really like it. If it's done properly, there's about 3 or 4 or 5 winners, plus all the people that are involved in it. If it's done properly and it happens and people get cashed out and people get the loan and they get their credit up, you think about it. You want to move into an area, you want to get your kids into school, but you're not going to be able to buy there for 3 or 4 years. But all of a sudden you can get there, get your kids in, do the right thing, work, and get your credit score up, and bang, you can get it. I mean, it serves a great purpose.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, I agree.
I might be the extreme optimist. I know they don't always work like that. I think there's a few people that take advantage of all these systems, but I think if it's done properly and ethically, it can help people out of a bind.
Yeah, and that's the goal, right? I mean, you want to be able to sleep well at night. I mean, that's the most important part. So, I mean, whatever strategy you use, you got to make sure that you're doing it and you feel confident and you're treating people right.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So hopefully February next year coming out, and just hang out with a whole heap of people all over the country. So it's going to be good. And it's going to be good to actually have your feet on the ground and be in a city and see what the city's all about. And I've already, some guys that I've been networking with, we're already going to try and set up a mastermind. So we do a mastermind. We all get together, sort of, I'd say down at, they're from North and South Carolina, down that way. So somewhere down there. So it'll be good. It'll be good to, and we sort of see things over here from different eyes, because myself and my mate Warren see, because it's so different. So we sort of have a different perspective. So, we try and bring that across and try and remind Real Estate Nate and guys like that how blessed you are, how you've just got to keep going out there and
It is a blessing to be here. I think people don't really realize what we have, but
Yeah,
it's amazing that you're able to come out here and network. Listen, so I mean, I've had an awesome time chatting with you. I think you've let a lot of people know about the blessings of being here in the United States. Not only that, but you can wholesale from anywhere. You can invest from
do it
anywhere.
anyway. Yep.
And the fact that you're wanting to bring investors from Australia here, I mean, you're going to be benefiting a lot of people there for sure that have maybe the eye opening that you had when you're like, wow, I can invest there. I mean, you're going to be able to bring that to other people. That, I mean, your mission it's a good mission.
Yeah, that's it. So, no, thanks for having me on Real Estate, Nate. It's been fantastic. I always love hanging out with you because you've got plenty of energy and you're always up and about and you're always giving value. I'm spooking to people saying, this guy, Nathan Payne, I've never seen anyone give so much stuff away and give value. So
That's right.
I really appreciate it because, especially for people that are struggling starting off, it's fantastic. So keep up the good work, mate.
Yeah, I appreciate you saying that because, sometimes my goal is to give out as much as I can. And then, for the people that need more, then obviously we can work together. But, I appreciate you saying all that. Let me ask you this before we wrap it up. What golden nugget or what can you leave for the viewers right now that you would like, maybe one thing you'd like to let them know before we end?
Is that as investors, like as wholesalers out there that are,
it can be to investors. It can be about, something you learned in life, something you just want to let people know that
never give up. Never give up. Never give up. Even through the tough times, you just got to keep pushing through. You got to have that Aussie spirit. You just got to keep pushing through. Don't give up because when you give up, there's no chance of it ever happening. At least if you're failing and things aren't working, there's still a possibility. There's still hope. So in this business, a big deal can be around the corner and it can change the whole dimension. So don't give up. So, and that's in life as well. I mean, you get knocked down all the time in life. You cruise along and then you get bloody sideswiped by a kangaroo and all of a sudden you're gone. So you just, that's one lesson I've learned in life is you just got to keep going and keep pushing. And my dream was always at the start to come out to America, and it's getting closer now because I haven't given up. I could have given up 1,000 times, but I haven't. So
that's amazing, and I love that. So never give up. I think there are probably a lot of people who maybe haven't faced those times in their lives yet where they've maybe come to that point where they want to give up, right? So you're just letting everyone know if you have faced it, don't give up. And if you haven't, it probably will happen, right?
Yeah. Because if you haven't, you're not going to know what's hit you. It gets you when you're in the best state, you're happiest you've ever been, and then it comes and sideswipes you. So, and in saying that, Nate, you've got to enjoy every minute, celebrate everything. If you put something under contract, celebrate it, and then if you lose it, commiserate it. So, oh well. But you got to have the small victories, and that's something I've learnt off you guys in the US. The last 2 years hanging around with US people, there's that cheerleading and that get behind your mates and get. So if someone gets knocked down, if you're on the canvas, I've got to come and pick you up and help you up and support you. And that's it. So never give up. That's my motto now.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's great advice. And sometimes it's the simple advice that's the greatest advice, right? Like that's. Never give up. Maybe some people might be like, oh, I heard that, but no, it's true. Like you got to pivot, when the market shift might be taking out a lot of people, but there's ways to pivot. And that's why I tell people about the painless wholesaling method. And I think I told about it. It's finding your buyers first and then finding them what you want. So you're not wasting all your money just looking for a random deal that maybe someone will buy. Go talk to people first. So anyway, bro, that was awesome. Where can the people watching this find you? That's the last thing I forgot to add.
Go to the Graham Solomon Thunder from Down Under YouTube channel. And now the Thunderdome has been open. We've got the website open. So that's thunderdownunder.podcast.com. You can go in there. There's a bit of a shop in there. You can grab a coffee, sit down at your computer and get some prop stream, get a few of these, get yourself set up. There's a few freebies in there.
That's awesome.
And so we're going to build that now because we want people to come into the Thunderdome, part of the family. I offer free Aussie slang coaching to any US people that come in.
Wow.
Jump on Zoom calls and teach them how to. I've taught a lot of people slang. So that's one of the options. And it's just trying to get as much content out there. Like I've had you on, I've had all these people on, and if you watch it, I try and get gold nuggets out of them. Try and get them to drop some gold nuggets so that it's worth. You find out about the person. You might have followed them on YouTube, but you also get some gold nuggets because it's about like what you do. It's about educating the next tier of people coming through.
Of course, yeah.
The right way, how to do it properly. So, Thunder from Down Under podcast.com. And like I said, I do one for Home Invest / Social Media Blueprint. So you can check them out. But just other than that, I just got my own little Facebook group that I network with people through. So that's that. And just other than that, fly under the radar. Just try and keep quiet till I get out to Vegas.
That's right. Hey, well, it's been a pleasure and an honor chatting with you. And, you always got someone here in Utah if you need anything. And anybody else that wants to network with Graham, hit him up on Facebook, hit him up on his website. I mean, he's a great asset to have, and he's super supportive. So thanks again for coming on, brother.
Thanks, Nate. It's been a pleasure, mate. Have a good one. And I'll see you when I'm looking at you in Vegas. All right?
You got it, brother. All right. Talk to you later.